I've pretty much been working nonstop from the second I graduated from high school, so here are all the jobs I've had and their salaries since then. My first ever job was as a private tutor, and I would charge $15 an hour to basically anyone who would accept me. I started out with my neighbors, and then my students kind of grew through word of mouth, and at one point I was even making up to $3,000 a month, and as a fresh high school graduate, that was amazing. I never really stopped tutoring up to my last semester of university because it was such a great side hustle. I could create my own hours, I could teach the subjects I wanted to. I mainly taught English, science, and math. After about a year and a half to 2 years of teaching, I did increase my salary to $20 an hour. So that was a job I had up to my last semester of university. When COVID came around, I had to defer the start of my university, and I had so much free time on my hands. So I started an online jewelry business called Amorata Jewelry, and I still have the Instagram page up to this point. But I did that for a solid 8 to 9 months before I finally had to start my university. It was more so a passion project, but I did earn some income through that. I think it was $1,500 to $2,000. Little did I know at the time, but that would be one of my strongest assets to have on my resume. My first actual desk job was as an accounts payable assistant in the financial services department of my university. I would mainly just process claims and invoices that would come through, but that was a great starting point to have on my resume. For my first internship, I was hired as an accounting associate at a startup tech company. This was a pretty good job because I got to help out in all of the financial aspects of the company, AP, AR, bank reconciliations, and all the good stuff. Since it was a startup tech company, I also got to help implement a few softwares into the company, which was also another good add to my resume. For my next internship, I got hired as a tax analyst at a Big Four firm. When I started my last year of university, I went back to my role as an accounts payable assistant in the financial services department of the university, and I got a raise from $14.50 to $17.50. I also continued working part-time at the startup tech company, and I got a raise from $17.50 to $19.50 an hour. At one point, I was pretty strapped for money, so I was working with a sponsor who agreed to pay $4,000 of my last semester's tuition fees. We had an arrangement that I would work at his accounting firm as an accounting associate for $25 an hour until I reached the 4K mark. That pretty much sums up all the jobs I've had since graduating high school about 7 years ago. It's kind of crazy to look back at all the jobs I've worked, but I'm super grateful for all the experiences I've had.